That's a tasty Bisi Bele Bath. This certainly is a rich chicken gravy. Hi folks, welcome to another episode of Gourmet on the Road, and we are in Mysuru. Now when I'm in Mysore, and I've been traveling here extensively over the last few years, the one hotel that I almost always stay at is the Grand Mercure Mysore. Now there's a few reasons why I love this hotel. One, it's a hotel with all the modern conveniences that you need for a comfortable stay with a touch of luxury. And secondly is the warmth of the hospitality that you find here. You've got a great bunch of people who are manning the hotel, and they're always ready to serve you with that smile. And last but not the least is the attention that they pay to local cuisine. Now it's my belief that when you're traveling to a new city, to a new destination, you want to savor the flavor of the land. Because ultimately it's the food that connects you to the destination. And out here at Grand Mercure Mysore, they've been doing it extremely well in the two thalis that they offer. So in this episode of Gourmet on the Road, we're going to be tasting a local Mysuru Thali, a hearty vegetarian thali, and a Karnataka Thali. So let's go and savor this experience at Uppu, the all-day dining restaurant at the Grand Mercure Mysore. So I'm here in the Uppu kitchen with Vijay, the local Mysuru chef, who's making the dishes for the Karnataka Thali and also the Mysuru Thali. So Vijay, ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಈಗ? ಬೇಳೆ ತೋವೆ. So Vijay here is making the bele tove, which is a lentil dish which is very popular with the locals here in Mysuru. So ಇದು ಮೈಸೂರು ಥಾಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇದು?
ಮೈಸೂರು ಥಾಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
So ನೀವು ಮೈಸೂರು ಥಾಲಿ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಏನು ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಅದು ಥಾಲಿದು?
ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಮೊದಲು ಒಂದು ಗೋರಿಕಾಯಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಗೋರಿಕಾಯಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಗೋರಿಕಾಯಿ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಇದೆ.
So I was just talking to Chef Vijay here and asking him the reason for the Mysuru Thali that they have. So he says that he wants to give people a flavor, a taste of what people eat here in Mysuru. Whether it's the lentils, whether it's the kind of beans that they use, whether it's the mustard seeds that go into the seasoning. He feels that when you serve the Mysuru Thali, people will go back with a flavor of Mysuru. You ready, Aidu?
Ready.
I'm going to taste some of the bele tove right off the stove. It's steaming, as you can see, it's steaming hot. And it's quite aromatic too. You have the creamy lentils, and then you also have the coconut. I can already visualize some of the bele tove on the rice with a drizzle of ghee. This is going to be a tasty dish. He's making a carrot and bean vegetable right now. So you've got some Chitranna, which is a local speciality, and then you also have some Donne Biryani. So Donne Biryani Karnataka Thali alog hota hai. Chitranna Mysuru Thali. Wonderful. So I'm going to go out to the restaurant now and wait for both these thalis to arrive at the table. I can't wait to taste these thalis. I like the indoors, outdoorsy kind of a look of this place. Thank you very much, chef. So this is what you call Mysuru in a plate. So it's got at least 15 dishes, and if you want to savor the flavors of Mysuru in one plate, of course the vegetarian flavors of Mysuru, mind you, this is the perfect thali to order. The papad is nice and crispy. I'm going to make some space on my thali. I'm going to taste the Mysore Bonda first. Fried food in any form is always popular wherever you go, and in Mysore too. So this is the Mysore Bonda, which is a popular snack any time of the day. So it's got a dab of onions, it's got some chili. I'm going to dip into this rasam and taste it. I love the puckering tartness of this rasam. It also has a hint of sweetness. Perhaps there's some jaggery also that's gone into it. There's a tomatoey sourness and also the gentle spice that you get at the back of your throat. You know, when you have a rasam, it can either be a fiery one, but this one is quite soothing on the palate. Lovely. I'm going to taste the akki roti now, which is served here. And I think I'm going to taste it with the Gorikayi palya. Now the Gorikayi palya is a kind of bean. So I'm going to taste the Gorikayi palya and the akki roti. You can definitely taste the mustard seeds in this Gorikayi palya. And the toasty notes of the coconut as it has been fried in the tempering for this vegetable. The vegetable still has a crunch intact, which is always a nice thing when it comes to vegetables. Next, we have to taste the Bele Tove, which is a Mysore staple. This is a thick lentil preparation with chilies, with curry leaves, and of course the mustard seeds. You know, that's something that goes into every dish here in Mysore. I want to taste this Bele Tove just by itself. I think you also have some coriander in, just as a garnish. You have the red chilies, the onions. That's a creamy lentil preparation. You know, I'm imagining this would also be great with some rice. Let's go back to some of the fried food. The Gorikayi fry or the raw banana fry. It's got this nice masala coating. Also see a sliver of chili in the masala. At first when I looked at this masala coating, I thought it was a little too much for the Gorikayi. But then the starchy texture of the Gorikayi or the raw banana carries the flavors of the masala through. So you definitely need that thick masala coating to work with the starchy bite of the raw banana. Next we're going to taste the Badnekayi Goju, made with eggplants. So this is the green eggplant. To be honest, I'm not a big eggplant person. Doesn't figure on my list of favorite vegetables, but this is quite a tasty one. And I think the onions and the tomatoes and the spices that have gone into this makes the eggplant quite tolerable actually. Next, I'm going to taste a bit of the Chitranna. As you can see, it's garnished with some coriander, with freshly grated coconuts. You've got the onions, you've got some peanuts in it, which gives it a nutty bite. And then you have that citrusy note of the lemon. When you come for one of these Mysore Thalis, make sure you come with a big appetite, because that's what it certainly warrants. Next, we're going to go for the Bisi Bele Bath. So it's basically hot lentils and rice, which is what Bisi Bele Bath translates literally to. The rice is fortified by the grainy texture and the flavor of the lentils. This is a tasty Bisi Bele Bath. Of course, you got the curry leaf, you've got the red chilies that also gives it that just a gentle warmth. I quite like the Bisi Bele Bath. It's a tasty rice and lentil dish. And I can't resist going for a third spoon of this Bisi Bele Bath. And the other thing that makes the Bisi Bele Bath is the ghee that gets drizzled over. That's a tasty Bisi Bele Bath. Almost forgot some of the kosambri, which is a salad that you typically have at the start of your meal, but you can have it anytime you feel you need to have a healthy bite. So this kosambri is quite generous in its use of the coconut, the grated coconut. It's got some pomegranate seeds and of course the lentils. In this part of the country, we like to finish our meal with a little bit of curd and a little bit of rice. Of course, you also have a couple of sweets on this thali. You have the Mysore Paka. I like the roundel shape of this Mysore Paka, and I'm told that they make this Mysore Pak in-house. So you have to taste a bit of that. All that ghee just makes that Mysore Pak melt in your mouth. And the final dessert on my Mysore Thali is a Godhi paisam or the wheat paisam. You taste the wheat flakes in this paisam. If you taste all the dishes on this Mysuru Thali and as you come to your dessert, the Godhi paisam is a light, sweetish end to your meal here. But that's not the end of our meal. It's only the end of part 1 of our meal, because we are next going to wait for the Karnataka Thali and the non-vegetarian version at that. Non-veg thali. So there you go, you have the Karnataka Thali, and this time I've asked for the non-vegetarian version. So what happens in the non-vegetarian version of the Karnataka Thali is the fact that you get some non-vegetarian dishes. I'm going to just make some space on my thali and just move aside the fulka, the akki roti and the papad. So what you get is some mutton biryani. This is a Donne Biryani, Uppu style. And then of course you have some fish fry right here. You have the Koli Saaru or the chicken curry, which I'm told is a Gouda style chicken curry. And then you have your various vegetables. Now I've already tasted most of them. So you've got the Thilisaaru, which is a rasam. You've got the Bisi Bele Bath. You've got the Gorikayi palya, but I'm told this is a spicy preparation of the Gorikayi palya. So I'm going to taste that. And then you've got the carrot palya. And then of course you have the Chitranna, the kosambri and the curd rice. And of course not to forget the sweet, the Mysore Paka, Godhi Halwa and of course the banana. But since I have already tasted most of these dishes, on my Mysuru Thali I'm only going to taste 1 or 2 of them that I haven't tasted earlier. So we're going to make some space and begin with the Gorikayi palya. This is a spicy one. I'm going to have some more of the akki roti. Can never get enough of this. You got that minty coriander paste, and then you have that spice that also comes in from the chili. Next I'm going to taste some of the akki roti with this Koli Saaru. Certainly a robustly flavored chicken curry. You can taste the fenugreek, the methi in this preparation. And the chicken has completely absorbed all the masala. There's also some spice from the chili and also the whole spices that have been ground into this paste. This certainly is a rich chicken gravy. And so when you're tasting the chicken and all that masala. And this makes for a tasty bite. I'm going to make space now on my plate for the mutton biryani. You know, one can never tire of a good biryani. So this biryani has been garnished liberally with coriander and then the rice. So it certainly looks flavorful. Let's see if it tastes the part 2. So the rice is very mellow in its flavors. You taste the masala, but it's not something that fills the room. But what's interesting, even as I dig into this meat, is the softness of this meat. Oh, this looks like a beautiful piece of meat. You can taste all the fat in this meat, and the meat has been cooked so beautifully, it slides off the bone. So there you see, I had some meat on this bone a few seconds ago, but right now all that meat is sitting on the rice to make one tasty mouthful. So I've got the rice and I've got the meat. This is a tasty biryani. This is a sort of biryani where you take a bit of the meat in every morsel of the rice. Because that's really where all the flavor is. The flavor is in the rice and the meat with those little bits of fat coming together. So if you're looking to savor Mysuru cuisine or the flavors of Karnataka in some of the iconic regional dishes, do visit Uppu, the all-day dining restaurant at the Grand Mercure Mysore, and definitely check out the Mysuru Thali and the Karnataka Thali. I'm going to go back to my biryani. Until the next episode of Gourmet on the Road, stay safe and happy eating. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, share and leave a comment. If you'd like to support Food Lovers TV, do log on to foodlovers.in and hit the Support Food Lovers banner. Links in the description below. Happy eating!